So there are reports floating around about Republicans having some regrets over picking Mike Johnson as the Speaker of the House. Here, for example, is an article from Politico, even saying, quote, Kevin McCarthy has never looked so good. Here is a tweet from Thomas Massey, Republican, Kentucky, quote, getting rid of Speaker McCarthy has officially turned into an unmitigated disaster. He goes on to list a handful of reasons why, ending with our majority has shrunk. Mick, what you hearing?
It's real.
Okay.
And Thomas Massey is not the biggest McCarthy fan in the whole world. He's sort of perceived within the party as being an independent. He's sort of libertarian, but he speaks his mind. He speaks the truth. He's not sort of beholden to anybody. He's also the swing vote many times on the Critical Rules Committee, and it's perceived as being one of the reasonable people that McCarthy put on that Rules Committee. So when he comes out on the record, and says that he wishes McCarthy was back, that carries a lot of weight. Keep in mind, Mike Johnson is he's in a weak position. He's going to be in a weak position anyway because of the narrowness of the margin. But to have semi-open revolt is going to be tough to deal with.
The headline is Kevin McCarthy has never looked so good. I think Kevin McCarthy has probably never felt so good, right? Getting out of here and not having to deal with this.
By the way, I saw him at the Super Bowl. He was about 10 rows ahead of me.
Oh, you
Now that's a danger.
I don't know anything you say.
When I was at the Super Bowl, the former House Speaker, what you were going to say?
He wasn't the first, second, third. He was the fourth choice, okay? Like, we got to remember that this is somebody who stepped in, and thank God he's a man of deep faith because he's going to need all the help he can get from above to hold on to this job.
You're on fire.
There is nobody.
He was no other
Nobody can do this job
was no
well
other
at this
candidate.
point.
Yeah, nobody wants this job. This is the most thankless job
It
in
is the most
politics.
thankless
But
job.
Mike Johnson's biggest problem is he doesn't have a win yet, a big win yet.
How can he
even
win?
if it's a small win, if he gets wins, then he gets people following him and supporting him.
That's absolutely right, but he's got a bigger problem, which is he doesn't have the goodwill built up.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, Kevin McCarthy raised literally hundreds of millions of dollars for Republican candidates while he's here. He's helped a lot of people get here.
But a whole lot of
They
that
still
did
threw him out. They still threw him out.
Mike Johnson's biggest problem is that at any point he can be removed from office by a single vote.
I know.
That was
And the margin
McCarthy's
is
same
razor
problem.
thin. All right, Mulvaney's op-ed out in the Hill, excuse me, titled, quote, if Democrats seek a replacement for Biden, here's who will help guide them. What are you talking about?
I'm going to talk a little bit now, and we're going to watch Scott's head explode. Go for it. This yesterday. So the piece was essentially this. Well, I don't know if the Democrats are going to replace Biden or not, although we got a nice little side bet with Mr. Bolden on that as of tonight. But my point was this. If they do it, I just don't see them going with Kamala Harris. And the other thing that Scott disagrees with, if they're not going to pick the highest-ranking African-American woman in the government to replace Joe Biden and the sitting vice president, they're going to have to sort of have cover with the African-American community. And the point of the piece was, if you start to hear Barack Obama, for sure, everybody knows about him. Jim Clyburn from South Carolina, one of the most highly regarded members of the African-American the Congressional Black Caucus in politics. He was the one who sort of put that whole Bernie Sanders mess to bed in 2016 and 2020. So if you see him going on TV saying he likes Gretchen Whitmer or he likes Gavin Newsom, then you should pay attention.
Is that some South Carolina bias from you?
Sure it is, but I also know what role he plays. It would be short of Barack Obama, you would be hard pressed to find someone more highly regarded within that.
You were agreeing with Mick.
He just stepped down from House leadership, which now leads me to believe, based on that, is there a question about whether he wants to be in a leadership position if there is some sort of delegate issue down the road?
Let me say this. Whenever the Republicans start talking about Democrats, they think like Republicans. You need to think like a Democrat.
Okay.
It ain't happening.
How do I do that?
It ain't happening.
I think like a
It ain't happening. I mean, it's not happening because Kamala Harris is extremely popular with young voters, gay voters, black voters, Latino voters. That's the base of the Democratic Party. That's the first thing. Second of all, there's no one that could replace her that would be acceptable to the African-American community. And I don't see Clyburn coming out and walking away from her. And be honest with you, if something happens to Biden, God forbid, right, she has a lot of support in this party.
You said the same thing yesterday. I'll say the same thing I said to you off the air, which is I'm not making this up. This came from David Ignatius in the Washington Post. That's a big Democrat name in a big Democrat podium.
That's the White House.
No, he doesn't. But if David Ignatius is talking about it in public, people are talking about it in private.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.